Well, hello, Jason's friend. This is Ron Hoppe, and we're going to have a look at your video that Jason had sent to me. I'm going to break it down in little pieces for you. We'll look at it at full speed. This is the one video that was sent, taken with your cell phone, I assume. All right, very good. All right, get back here. All right, every bowler in the world has an issue of getting a ball past your leg twice. You got to swing it down and then return, and hopefully in a straight line. So the footwork and the body lean and all those things have a big, very important part of that. So I look at all of that, starting with your footwork and your body lean. And right now you start out with, you got a pretty good lean. Here's your spine tilt. We'll call it spine tilt. There's your center of gravity about there. So I look up here and it looks like you get about 12 degrees of tilt. And it takes about 20 degrees of dropping that shoulder down and moving the hip out of the way, really to get the ball past your leg on the downswing. So I'm going to put you in motion. Excuse me. Your first step of 4. We're waiting. Okay, now I like what you do. You're kind of getting yourself just a feel. You're a feel player, so just getting yourself kind of in a rhythm. First step, very good. You step out of the way of the swing. I can see maybe a little too much of the ball here. I'd like to only just see a little portion of it, and when you start it out in motion, and I'll show you why here in 1 second. Now you've increased your lean by making that step, your first step, right on the balance beam in front of your other step. So you're now up to about 22 degrees of lean, which is pretty good. That's enough to get the ball past. Alright, so here comes the ball. Nice and clean right there. You take an Amleto step right there. I don't know if you know who Amleto Monticelli is, but that's exactly what he does. Well, he's right-handed, obviously. He makes a pretty big step where you can see a gap between his legs. And the difference between Amleto and you is that he keeps the ball in his head right on this plane. Yeah, let's go back up here. All right. I'm going to get you back your starting position. You're somewhere around 22, 23, 24 board at this point at your starting position. And I'm assuming you're aiming at about in between maybe 12, 13 board, something like that. So step number 1, we're good. Step number 2, now you are all the way out to about the, I'm going with about the 6 or 7 board over here on your right feet. And that's a long way to try to get back and get the ball to a target out here on the lane. So up until this point, you're not too bad. The swing should wind up. You ready? Right here behind your shoulder. That's where the ball should be. Right now you got it behind your back, so this creates quite a few problems. One is that you stepped into the way of the ball right here. Okay, this step, rather than being right in front of this one, you're trying to get back to your target. So you step out into the way of that arm swing, which further moves it behind your back. Now, at this point, it's almost impossible to stay behind the ball. You're going to have your fingers go around the outside of it and create too much angle of rotation, which is your hook. But it's a little pretty difficult. You're going to get hooked, but controlling when that happens is going to be difficult because of the angle you have. And I'm going to enlarge you because I need to see you better. So I'd like to see the ball right here directly behind your shoulder. And based on your footwork, if we want to play, and I'm going to get you on down through here, and let's see where you actually go. Oh, you're right on second arrow nearly. Okay, so there are several things that are going on. One, your slide foot doesn't really close in enough. Let me get rid of this. Your slide foot isn't really tight up against this bowling ball. In other words, this shoulder needs to be down a little more and the ball moved in tighter to that ankle. But that's very difficult to do. As you can see, the ball being behind your back, your knee has to duck out of the way a little bit to avoid hitting your knee on the downswing. And you still have a bent elbow at this point. Anthony bowled that way his entire career, and it seemed to bother him. That's how you get hooked. By the way, nice release. That is an extremely clean release on your part. I don't want to see any cup on your hand. I don't want to see your wrist cupped out of shape. That is a great release. Probably your best asset right now that I can see. Let's take you back and start you over again and talk about what I'd like to see change. 1, I want you to move over 10 boards to your left. Your starting position. And I'll show you how that works. Imagine yourself 10 boards to the left of where you are right now. And this is what I wanted to let you do. Alright, play. Okay, your first step will be the same. You'll do exactly the same. Second step will be the same. Your third step, and this is why we're moving you 10 boards. I might need more than that. Could be 15. I want this step to go directly in front of this foot, so that this arm swing can go in a straight line and create, and that'll help draw your shoulder down and keep your head over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you someone doing that exact same thing. I'm going to bring you back. And I'm going to put a player up here that probably does it better than anybody in the entire world. Well, he was the first one to do it, that was for sure. I've got to find him. I'm probably going to run out of time on this particular part of the video. Okay, it's not there. Okay, so I'm gonna save this first part of this video, and we're gonna come back.